What's up, guys, and how are you doing today? So as you guys can see from the video, Sweetie over here wanted to challenge me again, I guess, to another debate. And even though they got dog walked viciously, they wanted to attempt it again. And you know, we're all about giving people their chances and, you know, trying to help other creators grow. So if he wants to grow with a leash around his neck, by all means, he's free to do that. But what I find funny is there was something that he said in his video which I thought was absolutely hilarious. I'm gonna go ahead and play that for you right now, and I promise you're gonna get a laugh.
Why do you think I'm not talking about peak Galactus absorbed cosmic king Thor?
Well, let's see. Maybe the reason why you're not talking about that is because that never happened. Galactus never absorbed the power of King Thor. Thor absorbed the power of Galactus. That's a fact, sweetheart. Thor let go of the power cosmic to show Beta Ray Bill he wasn't a slave to nobody. And when Galactus tried to drain him and take his power from him, Thor said, "You have no power over me. You take nothing from me." Then him and Beta Ray Bill get into a fight. And when Thor and Galactus get into a fight again, it is Thor who then takes the power of Galactus for himself, which Galactus ends up saying on his own. So you saying that just further proves that you didn't read this. You don't read any of this. But please continue digging yourself a hole. I'm happy to lay you in it. Okay, now just hearing that, I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna understand like how this is gonna go. He doesn't actually read these comics. He doesn't actually care about these characters. He doesn't even know about these characters. I mean, he's just doing this to do it. Like, he's not really a comic book enthusiast whatsoever. And the only reason why I know that is because most of all of his scans are, one, read incorrectly. Two, he didn't read the material that he's presenting, which means he probably got off of a Reddit page or a Quora page, which means he could be using somebody else's talking points. Because how do you say those? Like, how do you say all that? If you read the material, you know the material. How do you say what you said, and why would you even use the scans that you used? But regardless, guys, I already did a video on my TikTok as usual, and I had some extra footage that's not on my TikTok that will be in this video. So again, sit back, relax, enjoy. Make sure you guys like and follow, and yeah, I hope you learned something today. Besides that, you guys have a great day. Enjoy the content. What's up, guys? So y'all remember this creator who made a video about me? Well, I responded. They got debunked, and then they responded again and yapped for about 20 minutes. But don't worry, as always, we can pass them another L. What were you saying, sweetheart? And don't worry, I'm not gonna bore you guys with like the trivial nature of his video. We're just gonna debunk the parts that need to get debunked. What's up, guys? So yeah, this creator that I've never even heard of him before.
Hey, there I am. Oh, but we're starting bad though, aren't we? So, not knowing who someone is doesn't mean that what they said has any less value than someone you're very familiar with. You might not be familiar, for instance, with like Soren Kierkegaard, or maybe you are, but I'll bet you know who Taylor Swift is. And I promise you, I will take Kierkegaard's opinion on the purpose of life and how to live it with more weight than I would my future ex-wife.
Sweetie, I'm gonna need you to put the fries in the bag. Yeah, you're cooked. Yeah, you're cooked. And over the years, they've always made that very clear, from their older comics to the newer comics, that a thought is faster than light, right?
Yes, and that's never been in question. If you remember from watching my video, which you might not, because you only included a couple seconds, you might not have watched it completely. I said that the speed that matters when measuring thought is the speed it takes to form the thought, not the projection itself.
So I guess I gotta catch you in 4K. I'm sorry. What did you originally say, buddy?
The Scarlet Witch can literally think you out of existence. And even though Comic Related said Superman would just blitz Scarlet Witch, I'm sorry to tell you this, a thought is faster than the speed of light.
Okay, first off, that part is objectively false. If I had half the confidence this man had to just say something wrong and keep the same energy the whole time, I would be running Marvel Comics.
Even though he's already been debunked, I guess he needs to be debunked again. Something is moving at the speed of light. The time it takes to make a thought fast enough to counter that is faster than the speed of light. Again, Monica Rambeau moves at the speed of light, but magic can open her gateways at the speed of thought. Because of this, she can react faster than Monica can, which means she can activate her ability faster than Monica can travel, which at the time she's traveling at the speed of light. Even Marvel goes into great detail that when it comes to distance, the speed of thought travels faster than light does. Even when we look at giant-sized Marvel Fanfare issue 51, and the Supreme Intelligence states how far and how wide their own galaxy is, right? But for his thought to travel where he currently is to Earth, which he states right here, it is 1,000 galaxies. But with the speed of thought, it only takes moments to reach where he is to Earth, which is Mangog. In which, just for the speed of light to travel 1,000 galaxies, it would take it approximately 200,000 years, in which rather it takes to make a thought or travel a vast distance. Marvel, specifically in their comic, has already proven that the speed of thought reacts faster and travels faster than the speed of light. There is no arguing that. Specifically when Pietro not only had to reach a speed faster than the speed of light, but also faster than the speed of thought, or that he had to be faster than a thought. And even in the Ultimates, which technically isn't even that old, we see Monica Rambeau traveling as light, but she gets stopped by a being made up of pure thought, who also not only travels at the speed of thought, but makes the distinction and tells her that thought is faster than light. Again, this is fiction, but Sweetie over here doesn't understand the difference between fiction and real life. But don't worry, we're gonna give him that reality check. Now let's debunk the things that he already said, because I did say he lacks reading comprehension, and he is definitely going to prove that.
At Living Laser. Living Laser has confirmed lightspeed attacks, and the way to deal with him is to dodge them, because he does not have lightspeed reflexes. Marvel actually makes a point of noting exactly what I was arguing. His attacks are limited by the speed of his thought. Oh, but I thought the thought was this incredible force that transcended all speed.
It is, but you didn't read that comic, which is common. A lot of people who claim to be comic book enthusiasts or comic book content creators don't even read the material that they showed, because if you did, you would have known this and you wouldn't have used that scan. Iron Man issue 211. That particular armor is built to deflect lasers and other beamed attacks. In which 210, we also see, while it is able to deflect certain beam attacks, other attacks, if able to get through, he can simply redirect them. Not only being able to emit certain waves that can stop certain light or certain objects, but he can also stop them in their tracks and hold them in place. While at the same time, when you showed this feat, you seem to not understand the difference between travel speed and reaction speed. Tony is not faster than light, but he can react to it, which is exactly what you see him doing, which is what those lines right there are. Those speed lines are indicating that he just dodged light, while at the same time he's fighting an adversary that just really isn't good at his job or good at track, which is why he keeps missing and only gets a shot off every now and then. Like when he gets this shot off on Tony, one of the reasons why he was able to do it is because he turned himself into light. So he wasn't just traveling at it, he actually turned himself into it, which Tony says. And as for this part right here, this was not Iron Man in this scan. That's Rhodey. But you didn't know that because you didn't read this book. You just saw some pictures and you tried to make an argument where even Rhodey says himself, one of the problems that he's having is that he doesn't want him to know that Rhodey is limited to how fast he can think. But as of right now, he's not thinking that clearly. So what does Rhodey do? Rhodey evades and tries to run away, which he states why that is. Because Rhodey could only evade him for so long, but that's all he was a distraction until Tony came back with the proper equipment, not only contain him, but to trap him. You didn't know that because you don't read comics and you don't understand the difference between travel speed or reaction speed. But let's continue.
And just to point out, you were also harping on about old comics being inapplicable and then cited a comic so old you couldn't even find a clear scan of it. The leader in this scan is of course correct. If they can harness the concept of thought, they can travel as fast as they like. Seems more convoluted than just teleporting, but that's okay.
Sweetie, I shortened the scan for you, while at the same time, I used old scan, new scan, and even newer scan. See, unlike you, I took the old and showed how not only is the old still canon, but applicable to what we do today. I proved it by showing those scans, which is something that you didn't do. But you knew that. But you already said, what did you say?
In this scan is of course correct. If they can harness the concept of thought, they can travel as fast as they like.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. In which, I'm sorry, what did the leader say? Oh, that thought has no limits, which would make it faster than light. Oh, Oh, let's continue. What else did you say, honey?
The speed of thought, as we've talked about, is certainly faster than light if you can project your power and have it move with the speed of your intention, which is essentially the speed of thought.
Which is what I said. And if Scarlet Witch wanted to, she could just think him out of existence. It's probability manipulation, or the ability to just break you down. It's just something that she can do without having to do anything. She can literally just break you down or delete you. Or like she did in Scarlet Witch Volume 1, Issue 4. She can simply change a law of Marvel because that's just something that she can do. It just requires her to think it. Nah, but you knew that. You just said it too, so thank you for debunking yourself, but let's continue.
Considering she got one-tapped by Nightmare and then begged Thor to wake up to save them in the same issue, Nightmare is a big deal, especially within his own realm. And Thor snapped his control across multiple mental planes, all while within the dream.
Sweetie, you didn't even read that. Honey, Bookie, baby, you didn't even read that book, baby. Bro, Avengers issue 7. Wanda woke up before everybody else, and when she did, Nightmare pretty much sent her out because he really has no control over her, but he didn't want her messing anything up. She was awake, everybody else was asleep, including Thor. And in issue 8, she didn't beg him, she just told him to wake up. She actually broke him out of the trance that he couldn't break himself out of. Once he was awake, he basically woke up everybody else, but for him to leave, he had to make a deal with Nightmare. He even admitted Nightmare won. He said, if you let us go, I'll come back, have that conversation with you. But you didn't know that because you didn't read that. But then you said something else.
Are you saying that because Wanda put Steve into a little timeout speed of thought box, that she can always move at this speed? Or that she would be able to apply this in combat with other much higher end characters? Exactly.
Yes, she can apply that ability in battle because she can control time. In Thor's Speed Blister, how do you think she got that hit on him? It's because she slowed time down. Or being able to control a god in its own universe, these are things that she can do, but things he can't. Nightmare Queen is the daughter of Nightmare. Look who's a Pokemon. Okay, now, what else did you say?
Why do you think I'm not talking about peak Galactus absorbed cosmic king Thor?
Well, let's see. Maybe the reason why you're not talking about that is because that never happened. Galactus never absorbed the power of King Thor. Thor absorbed the power of Galactus. That's a fact, sweetheart. Thor let go of the power cosmic to show Beta Ray Bill he wasn't a slave to nobody. And when Galactus tried to drain him and take his power from him, Thor said, you have no power over me. You take nothing from me. Then him and Beta Ray Bill get into a fight. And when Thor and Galactus get into a fight again, it is Thor who then takes the power of Galactus for himself, which Galactus ends up saying on his own. So you saying that just further proves that you didn't read this. You don't read any of this. But please, continue digging yourself a hole. I'm happy to lay you in it.
Who he fights, and a lot of the time, he wins. He didn't one-tap the Phoenix Force because he can't fight outside his weight class. He didn't kill Glory, the manifestation of an entire pantheon of gods enhanced by the Chaos King, twice.
Yeah, first of all, the Phoenix Force and Scarlet Witch are two halves of the same coin, in which Marvel already confirmed that. In which, when he fought the Phoenix Force in X-Men vs. the Avengers, he threw his hammer, a planet died, and then she smacked him back to Earth. Literally. If you can't beat the Phoenix Force, how are you going to beat somebody who is its polar opposite, who not only controls probability manipulation, but primordial chaos at that, and that they're a nexus being, in which chaos itself comes before everything. It's the building block of everything, including the Phoenix Force. So you said yourself he can't beat somebody above his weight class, right? You think he finna beat Scarlet? Oh, okay. You said something else. What'd you say? Oh, I remember. Oh, you brought up the fight he had with Glory. Did you read that? Once again, I don't think you read that. Y'all want to go read Chaos War Thor issue 1. Bro, the whole time they were fighting, Glory was beating him within an inch of his life. Baby boy was getting sodomized. There was nothing he could do about this. To the point that Glory said if he stopped fighting, he would let him die like a god. But see, something happened that gave Thor a power boost, right? Or as they call it, a spark. You see, gods in Marvel can get their power increased when they are prayed to. And that's what she did. She prayed for Thor. Her prayers were answered, which not only gave Thor the will, but the power boost he needed to fight Glory. Now here's the problem. He didn't kill Glory, but he did knock him down a peg. But what happened to Glory also happened to him, because Thor fell back to Earth dying. Wait, I'm sorry. No, he did die. And he got turned into Donald Blake, in which we find out that's exactly who she prayed to when that happened, was Thor. Now, when Glory's shadow of his former self basically got demoted, he basically came back, in a new form, basically holding the power of the Chaos King in a way, right? And Thor was out here getting beat again. It got really bad. Like, Thor basically was losing and got swallowed up. Not only was he being devoured, he didn't have a way to fight back until Baby Girl and Donald Blake prayed for Thor. And that's, again, what gave him not only his boost, but what he needed to actually stop him. In which that is exactly what she said. They prayed to the God of gods to give Thor strength, and that's what allowed him to do what he did. He doesn't have the power to do that. He's a god. He needed somebody to pray for him. But don't worry, we're going to touch on this again real quick, because what else did you say?
And he certainly didn't absorb an infinite amount of God-killing primordial magic into his being that was affecting him over every second of every moment of his entire life, both past, present, and future, killing him over every second he's ever been alive, and overcame it.
Yeah, how did he do it though? See, you keep leaving those parts out. How was he able to do it? You see, you don't know me, but you will, buddy. You see, one thing about me is I got them books and I read them heavy, but obviously, baby, you don't. How was he able to do that, sweetheart? Thor, the god of thunder, Thor was able to absorb all that power because he was prayed to. The reason why he was able to achieve this and he didn't die is because, as they say it, every god in all the universe closed their eyes and they prayed to Thor. There, it's in big bold letter. The only reason why he was able to do this is because, one, he was amped, and two, he had the power of prayer from every god throughout time. This is the same thing that happens to Storm and every other god. When you pray to a god or a goddess, it increases their power. It's just that simple. What I don't understand is, how did you show the page? How did you show all those bubbles? And you still said what you said, knowing what's on the page. Again, the only reason why he was able to achieve this is because, one, he had two hammers, and two, I'm gonna say it again, every god closed their eyes and they all prayed to Thor. And because Thor is a god, when you pray to them, it increases their power. It is literally that simple. No one should have to explain this to you, sweetheart, because you said yourself, what? What did you say? You said, what forms were you using?
Not a good look for Wanda. You'll also notice that my arguments in this video, we were talking about base characters. If she's empowered by an outside force, which goes against 99% of her history, as amps tend to do, then it's not really relevant to my point.
So then why are you using feats for Thor when he's amped, sweetie? If you're using base characters, then you shouldn't be using feats for Thor when Thor is amped. It's just that simple. Because everything I use for Wanda, she wasn't amped. That's her base. She can do these things at base. Doesn't require an amp or an outside source. Now, I'm pretty sure you knew that. Nah, you knew that. Now, you did say something else. What was that?
Take some feats to their extreme. Mjolnir traveled from the farthest physical space possible in the universe, within the space of a few seconds, back to Earth. And Thor perceived its movements and reacted to it. I told you, this wasn't fair.
Again, sweetheart, you didn't read that book. You don't know what you're talking about. You're yapping, honey. Don't worry. Daddy Lion gonna get you right, because you don't know no better. And I got you, sweetie. I'm gonna get you where you need to be. But when the hammer came in, it was Odin who saw it first. And before the hammer hit him in his spine, right there in that box, it was Odin who pushed Thor out the way and said, "Get down, Father, no, I said, all in his spine." There were two more points that I wanted to attack. The point with Magic and Black Widow, and then the Phoenix Force versus Thor. But baby, I don't even have to do all that. You can't read, mama. You can't read. You're illiterate, you're disingenuous, and you love to spread misinformation. You don't know what you're talking about, which means you're not credible. Which is also why you wear a mask, because you never have to take responsibility for any of the misinformation that you're putting out into the world. You're bad at this, but don't worry. You want to make another response? Make another response, baby. I got you. I'll break you down like I did in every other video that I did. But this is nasty. This is disgusting. How did you say that with such confidence? and with a smile on your face, baby. I tell you what, I'm gonna let you try to redeem yourself. Why don't you show me in this scan where Thor reacts to that hammer coming at him at that speed? Because last time I checked, the only reason why he didn't get his skull cracked or crushed was because his daddy had to save him. But once again, sweetheart, you knew that. You knew that and you knew better. Besides that, I'm King Lion. You guys have a great day and enjoy this dog walking because we have more to come. And please use him as an example. Do not follow in his footsteps. Learn from his mistakes. All of you are better than this, and y'all can be better than this. This is not what you want to aspire to be. And when you show feats, do the best to show as many covers as you can so people can always go back and read those books for themselves. You see, he doesn't do that because he doesn't want you to have the ability to go back and read those books. Thing about me is I love to show the books. I want you guys to read it for yourself. But again, I'm King Lion. I'll catch you guys later. As you guys can see, that was a very easy dog walking. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, there's more coming. Anybody else that wants to step into the plate, I guess, challenge me. I go for it. I will answer your challenges when I feel like it, or if I even feel like doing it at all. But yeah, this is light work. This is something that we do all the time on TikTok. As you guys know, I'm pretty huge on TikTok. I have almost 1 million followers. And yeah, if you want to see more content, you want to see more death battles, please hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, hit the likes, leave a comment. The next one that we will be doing is Thor versus Hulk. I can't wait for you guys to see it. I think you're gonna really enjoy it. Besides that, I'm King Lion. You guys have a great day.